You probably thought this deer was alive, and this coyote was alive, and this pheasant was alive. Nope, they're not. They're dead. They've been taxidermized by Chuck Testa. Ojai Valley Taxidermy. I specialize in the most lifelike dead animals anywhere, period.
Look at that antelope driving a car.
Nope, it's just Chuck Testa.
Oh no, there's a bear in my bed.
Nope, Chuck Testa.
Hold on a second. There's a leopard feeding on an impala out on my deck.
Nope, it's just Chuck Testa with another realistic mount. Shipped to me from anywhere. Call Chuck Testa for the most lifelike dead animals around, period.
Did that rhino just order a drink?
Nope.
Chuck Testa does not taxidermize pets.
All right, hey everybody, welcome back to Emancipation Station. Here is Lee telling you where we are and who our sponsor is and how many in the audience, because I just got up from a little nap, so I'm ready to go, but I have no idea where we are.
Once again, yeah. Well, you know, last time we were in northern Finland.
Oh, okay.
It was very cold. Actually, it was very cold. It was like negative 300 degrees Kelvin.
It's Kelvin, yeah.
It was Kelvin degrees. So we weren't out much.
Yeah.
So now, Tony, we are south of the border.
Okay.
We're in a little town called Cucaracha, Mexico.
Oh, okay.
Which is actually the ancestral home for the Aztecs and the Olmecs.
Oh.
There's your history lesson.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah,
Olmecs?
yeah. Olmecs.
Oh, okay.
They were down there too. They were all hanging out together, playing soccer with each other's heads. The population of the village is 36,008.
Okay.
And we are proud to have 58 members in our audience.
Oh, okay. Thank you, everybody.
Now, the only downside is that they all speak Spanish, and we don't speak Spanish.
Not a lick.
So we were told that there's going to be translators, interpreters, anywhere around the studio. I haven't seen anybody yet. Yeah. But it's a nice crowd. They're all very nicely dressed, very colorful.
They're not doing that soccer with heads anymore, are they? That's kind of past. They're not doing that
Well,
anymore.
we in America, we don't know that. They don't promote that anymore.
Yeah.
Now it's just soccer.
Okay.
And our sponsor, this guy came highly recommended. It's L. Gibbs Camel Hair Tongue Lozengers. And his quote is, "You'll only need it once."
Okay. Okay, wait a minute. It's tongue lozenges?
Tongue lozengers.
Lozengers?
Yeah.
It's
Camel
for
hair.
camels?
Camel hair tongue lozengers. So if you have a sore throat, just one of his cures it. Right
Wow,
away.
it's got camel hair in it?
I don't know if it's lined in camel hair, if it's made of camel hair, but it's L. Gibbs Camel Hair Tongue Lozengers.
Wow, I'm impressed with that. How did we
Yeah,
ever
so
get
if you
them?
ever get a sore throat and you go to L. Gibbs, expect it.
Yeah.
They're like this big too. And camel hair, one does it. You'll never need two.
That's stronger than Fisherman's Friend, I'd say.
Oh yeah. So I don't know how he makes money because he only ever sells one. But they must be pretty expensive. I don't know.
Maybe you get coupons for the next one or something.
Yeah. So good luck on the ad department on that one.
Yeah. Well, that was wonderful. We have Eric Johnson here, and we have Jim T. You just said Jim T. So Jim T. from the Veterans Memorial on O'Day Road. So if you know where O'Day Road is, way up in Fort Wayne or over in Fort Wayne.
It's up and over.
Then you know where that is. So audience, please welcome our guest here. Right here.
You're going to have to do the clapping. So
I'll do it. Yeah. So how long has this place been open, the Veterans Memorial?
Well, the Veteran Memorial started back in the early 50s.
Oh, okay.
There was a World War I veteran. His name was Eric Scott, and him and his wife Cleo, they were from Chicago. Okay. And he was a World War I vet. And he was fighting in the Battle of Marne in 1917 over in France in a foxhole with a bunch of blood and guts and everything happening in his foxhole. And he looked up to the Lord and he said, "Lord, if you get me out of this, I'll make sure no veteran will ever be forgotten."
Really?
Wow.
So they moved to Fort Wayne, bought 40 acres out on O'Day Road, had a 2-story farmhouse, and the farmhouse unfortunately burnt down.
Oh.
So being the ingenious guy that he was a Mason originally. He worked on the Coliseum when Hagerman's built the Memorial Coliseum. He's a brick mason.
Okay.
So he built a garage, and they lived in the garage until he could finish building the museum, the original museum. It's all cement block. And then when they were done, they built an apartment in the front, and him and his wife lived in the apartment. And they used to have reunions out there and invite all the guys from his units all over the country.
Wow.
His first board of directors, I think there were like 26 guys from around the country.
Wow, really?
And they had a great time. They'd come to Fort Wayne and party. And Eric Scott, his mission was that no veteran would ever be forgotten. And we try to carry on that same mantra today with the memorials and the new museum and the different monuments that we have built and the ones that we're going to build in the future.
So you have a monument for how many wars are represented?
Oh, I would say when you look at them all, we have a World War II monument that's being finished right now. We've contracted with a donor on a World War I monument for next year. We've got the Korean monument, we've got the Vietnam Wall and a monument. We've got Afghanistan. We're just starting we just finished a fundraising drive for Iraq, OEF and OIF, which is Operation Enduring Freedom, Operation Iraqi Freedom, and then Desert Storm, Desert Shield. So with the Civil War and the Revolutionary War, we've got them about all covered, but we continue to have people that want to remember their loved ones, and they'll buy a bench and have their name on it. Legacy bricks, they'll put legacy bricks out at the monuments. And we just finished the Sterling Chapel, which you guys can come if you come out to Fort Wayne, you can see it. We're going to have an open house soon on that. That's a 60-seat chapel that we have honor ceremonies or small weddings or whatever. And we converted the old museum into an event center. So we've got all kinds of things going on out there.
Wow.
Yeah, well, the new museum is replacing all the artifacts that were in the original one, which looked like a ranch house, because people actually lived in there and it was converted into the original museum. All the artifacts and everything moved out of there and then moved into this wonderful facility. It's the Paul Wolf Museum that replaced and updated the old museum. But this beautiful museum, the signage, the artifacts, display cases, it is top notch.
Yeah.
And it's broken down into different regions of what wars that Eric was talking about before. So
and you have around the corner too this big, it's like a carriage or something that was in each state. Is that right? You know what I'm talking about?
Mercy boxcar. Tell them about the Mercy boxcar.
Yeah, the Mercy boxcar. Mercy meaning like thank you, merci, from France. Okay, what happened was after World War II ended, the France and Italy were really devastated. All the buildings, food supplies, getting anything delivered was completely wiped out, and people were starving. So the United States, and this was a non-government project, put dry goods together in every state and put it on what they called the Freedom Train. And they put all the items in that the states would donate. It went to New York to be shipped over to Europe, and then it was donated to France and Italy. And to reciprocate their great, the generosity by the American people, they made. They had these train cars, which were called 40 and 8 train cars, and 40 and 8 meant is either 40 soldiers or 8 horses. They were used in World War I. And also, on a sad note, they were also, when Germany came over and took these train cars in France, they were also used to ship the Jewish and other prisoners to the concentration camps.
Wow.
So that was part of the deal with these 40 and 1. There's special cars, but there was a lot of them there. So what France did was they shipped a train car full of gifts from the people of France, and it could have been toys, statues, paintings, champagne,
chocolates, perfume.
Yeah, you just name it. They stuffed these train cars, and they were presented to each state.
Wow.
And there wasn't all 50 states were even at that point.
Right.
This is
49.
49 is when they delivered these, and so. One was shared by Washington, D.C. and Hawaii. I'm not sure exactly how they
ended
worked
up
that
in
out.
Hawaii, I think.
Yeah,
finally.
but every state had one of these train cars, and Indianapolis had one, and one was delivered to Indianapolis for the state of Indiana. The story on that train car was that it stayed in Indianapolis. Some of the artifacts were stored in the Children's Museum in Indy, and also in the Military Museum in Indianapolis. They then wanted to share these items with another city, and it came to Fort Wayne. So they shipped the actual train car to Fort Wayne. It was in one of our parks there. I can't remember which one it was.
Well, I think when they originally shipped it, it was at Brackenridge in Calhoun.
Yeah, that's right.
And then Eric Scott says, hey, I'd like to have that out at our museum.
Yeah.
So he built a pavilion around it, put it on train tracks, and we've restored it to its original condition.
Yeah.
So when people come out now, they can see the 40-8 Mersey boxcar. And it is really a great macro artifact with a lot of history.
Yeah.
There's just so much history that people don't know about.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I'd never heard this, and
he knows a lot. So
and I do
Yes, he does. Yeah.
proclaim to know
Your
a
reputation.
very tiny amount.
When you come out, we've developed a separate area to display it.
Yeah.
And it's phenomenal. We just, Jim mentioned earlier about the M247 tank, which was called a Sergeant York tank. We got a call. We've been trying to find a tank for a number of years. And they said they had one available in Virginia. And so we got a group of investors together, and they paid for the shipment of the tank to get it here. And that's setting out at the end of our parking lot. You'll see a big M247 Sergeant York tank. It's called an anti-aircraft vehicle. When you look at it, that's another artifact that we picked up that we show, and kids love coming out there and seeing it.
Oh, yeah.
And we try to keep everybody from climbing on it.
It's not easy. I'm sorry, by the way, that you had to just pull me down. I'm sorry.
Get me out of here. But yeah, we're looking for aircraft. We're looking for helicopters. Anything that would be a macro artifact that we could put on the property. I mean, we got 40 acres. So we got all the room.
Yeah.
And what we want to make sure is that all kids growing up today understand, Vietnam was a page and a half in a history book. I mean, that's a 20-year war.
Right.
And it's like they don't hear the real story. They come out, they go to the Vietnam Wall. We're able to talk about the names on the wall, what it means, and how they're set up, and how these guys gave their lives for your freedoms you enjoy every day. And it's a healing wall. I mean, we see people from all over the country that'll come and they'll look for their brother, or look for their uncle, or look for their dad who's on the wall. They'll do a tracing. And it's very emotional. And I think that's part of our mantra: make sure no veteran is forgotten, but also help the people that come out there to understand this is what really happened. This is real. These 58,000 names on this wall, that was no picnic over there, guys. And
It's
when
not
you
being
look at the
taught.
history of war, it's just terrible losses, just generations of people that have been lost. So
Yeah, I can tell from a history teacher standpoint, Revolutionary War, Civil War, the big wars, 1 and 2, and then there's a gap, and it's not, high school teachers aren't necessarily, not that they don't know about it, but they're just, like I say, they skim over it. It's, it was a conflict, it wasn't a war. It's not being taught the way that we go into teaching in depth the Civil War and the Revolutionary War. And I think that's part of the problem too.
Well, in anything you teach, if it's just dates and places, it's not really real. You have to meet the people that were there, and their hurts and struggles, and the families they left behind. All that makes it more real to the kids too, when you're learning about it.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, you have this is the brick thing. Tell us how you can get a replica or a brick that you mentioned earlier.
we have a lot of people that want to leave a legacy to their family member who served. And so we call them legacy bricks, and you can buy a brick, either a 4x8 brick or an 8x8 brick. And if you go out to the shrine when you come up to Fort Wayne, look at the front of the chapel. It has 230 bricks on the front of the building.
Wow.
And they're all individuals that have donated, or families have donated a brick in memory of their loved one. And it's phenomenal. There's Korean veterans up there, World War II veterans, probably some World War I veterans, some Vietnam veterans, Korean veterans. If you go to our website, we have a pretty nice website called honoringforever.org. And at honoringforever.org, you can actually make a donation to the shrine, or buy a brick, or donate to one of our new projects. But if you go to honoringforever.org, it explains it all. And we got a lot of requests for more bricks. And so we're selling those as a way to remember a loved one. And it's not like everybody can afford to buy a bench or a monument or inscribe a big monument with their name on it. But yeah, the idea of legacy bricks is a great way to generate revenue for us, put towards the museum. We don't charge admission to the museum. It's open Monday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday from 11 to 4. The rest of the time, the property's open 24/7. And the wall is open. Some people would rather come after hours and view the wall. And it's a very respectful place, very quiet. There's a lot of solitude out there. And if somebody wants to remember a loved one, there's not a lot of traffic going by and people running past you and everything. It's just really a nice, solemn atmosphere to where you can reflect on your loved ones.
And they play taps every night at 9. Is that right?
Yeah, they play taps every night at 9. There's a chime that goes off every hour on the hour.
We were pulling in folks that help us out with the grounds, and we have volunteers are golden for us. They're caring, and they have relatives that served in the military, and we started a partnership with the Day of Caring with United Way, and I got involved from the parades. I started organizing that with just working with the United Way and finding out what we needed done, whether it was inside, outside, and the outpour of people wanting to help companies. It just was outstanding. We've had BAE, Fort Wayne Metals, Beloit Regal, and
the tin caps.
The tin caps too, right?
Oh, they bring everybody, the players, the coaches, and the front office. They come out and work for a day.
Star Financial.
Star Financial's been a good partner of ours. I've been on the board probably 5 years. Jim's been on the board, 2 years now?
Well, about a year and a half.
Year and a half.
I'm a rookie.
He's a rookie, but he's
Seems like
a good
two.
man, and he cares. He cares about veterans. And when we have an event, we have events out there all the time. And Jim helps us pull those off without flaws. And it's wonderful to work with guys that care and people that are involved in driving more people to the location. And we have a lot of fun. We have an area in the new museum called the Paul's Coffee Cafe, named after Paul Wolf, who donated money to the museum. And he wanted an area where veterans could come and shoot the breeze and sit down in a comfortable chair like we're sitting in here and just share stories. And you wouldn't believe some of the guys that come in and how it helps them heal to be able to talk about something that happened 50 years ago.
Wow, yeah.
And have a cup of coffee or a water or a pop. And it's just wonderful to share with fellow vets. And I think there's a brotherhood of veterans that once you meet a guy that's been, I met a guy that was in the same place I was in Vietnam. And we'll sit there and talk and share stories, and it's kind of cool. And I think guys should never feel like you're a stranger when you come out to the shrine. I mean, it's one of those things where you're gonna run into somebody that's gonna share their story and take you around the museum or take you out to one of the monuments and share that with you. And they feel very comfortable coming out there and bring their family and bring their kids, because we love kids. And we're working on now. Our last board meeting, Jim and I we're talking about doing a kids corner, that having a play area where the kids can have something to do when their parents are doing the museum. So we're constantly trying to figure out ways to continually bring people in, and the experience that they have is a positive one, and they'll come back.
So right there on my desk, everybody, right below me, there's the website right there. See it? Right there on the desk. So go there, and you can go to that website to find out how to donate, how to volunteer, all that's there.
HonoringForever.org.
Yeah, every veteran owns a piece of that property. That's the way we look at it. So come out, and this belongs to you, all the veterans.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah. Well, thank you for coming. We have a little challenge for you. You think you can?
We're always up for a challenge.
Nobody can leave without a challenge.
We got to have.
Okay, I just hope it'll be beneficial.
No, it won't.
It won't be beneficial, but it'll be fun.
Well, that's okay.
There is a plate.
Memorable.
There's a plate, and pick a Sharpie.
Return to paper plates, Jim.
There you go.
Okay.
And they're freshly cleaned. We just used them last night. So
Can we keep the Sharpie?
you can.
No,
You don't want one end of it.
no.
So
The budget. Think about the budget.
So we're going to draw something on our heads like this. Lee is going to describe a scene in about 40 seconds or so, or less maybe.
Yeah.
And we're going to try to draw that scene on top of our heads without looking at it.
Okay.
And then we'll put them down here and see whose is the worst.
Okay. It's a challenge.
Is there a prize for the worst?
It's only a game. Why you have to be mad?
Okay.
Okay, we're going to start off with Twin Mountain Peaks.
Okay. Got it.
Twin Mountain Peaks.
Uh-huh.
Twin
Mountain Peaks.
Okay.
Now between the Twin Mountain Peaks is a river that flows into a lake.
Okay. Got it.
Okay. Now on the side of the lake is a cabin.
Oh shoot, okay, cabin.
There's a dock going into the lake.
Okay.
And there's a jet ski attached to the dock.
How am I going to draw a jet ski? It's probably going to look like a dog.
Or like a little boat.
Yeah.
And there's your scene.
That's it. Okay.
Now, who gets the postcard?
That's
And who gets the med unit?
that's the scene, Jim.
Wow. Okay, so he's got a hot air coming off the mountains. That's pretty close.
That's good, Jim.
It's
Second
coming in
one.
closer. We're coming in hot here. We're almost there.
We're coming in hot. We're coming in hot. I see the peaks.
Yeah.
He's got the peaks down.
I'll
Yeah.
edit some of
Twin
that.
Peaks.
Twin Peaks.
There we go.
Twin Peaks. There we go.
Shady.
There. Okay.
Not bad.
Second.
Cabin. I see the cabin. I see the jet ski.
I think the little black thing there is the jet ski.
Jet ski.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
Oh
looks
yeah.
just like them.
Definitely.
Fire
Definitely.
with a fire.
I can see it. I can see it, Jimmy.
Like a couple of teepees.
Yeah.
I got the teepees.
You got the lake and the river.
The lake below. The cabin
is.
next to the lake.
Oh.
Yours is more pointillism, so
And the dock, and then way down at the bottom
of
of
the
the dock
bay.
is the jet ski, I guess.
Nice. Yeah.
That's at least a B plus.
Drawn on your head. It's not easy.
No. Okay.
It's
So
not easy.
which camera?
And Tony had no idea what you drew.
It's a Halloween mask.
It looks like Sonny Terry.
There you go.
I'm
Head
going to
drawing.
have to say
Wow.
it's a close competition.
That's from
I
awful
mean,
to
it gets
worse.
like from 98 to about a
Right there, that's the top
75
right
to
there.
about a 12. Awful.
Okay.
I'm going to have to go with the
Mine looks like a souffle.
first plate.
First plate.
First plate is the winner because
So
the
Jim
Twin
is the
Peaks
All right, Jimmy.
are pronounced the Twin Peaks.
Pronounced Twin
pronounced.
Peaks.
Very pronounced.
There you go.
All
You
right.
didn't think it was possible.
I never won anything ever.
Yeah, and you can keep that
You
for
could probably put
let's
those in your
this- this is the
museum
next
for
one.
psych
You
patients.
guys are lucky.
Thank you very much.
Well, everybody, audience of how many?
58.
58 people. Would you please welcome Eric and Jim here from the Veterans Memorial on O'Day Road. The website's there, and go visit that place, even up in Fort Wayne.
That's a
so.
long drive, but it's worth
It's
it.
a long drive. It's worth it.
All right, I'll be back after this. Everybody, thanks. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. in closer. We're coming in hot here. We're almost there.
We're coming in hot. We're coming in hot. I see the peaks.